guys, welcome back to the Custom Auto Garage, and today we are going to talk about leather care. How do we clean it? What's the best methods? What are we using? And then obviously after we clean it, we want to put some type of protection on it. Today I am in this beautiful 2008 BMW 740. And man, it had awesome features back then. You can see some of the features here for the seats. It's got the hydraulic doors and a bunch of other stuff. But anyway, let's get down to business and let's talk about leather care. Okay, this 7 Series particularly is packed with a lot of leather. You've even got the leather on top of the dial for the infotainment system. And you've got this beautiful leather up here on the armrest, which opens up, which is good. And we'll go through that in a moment. Now, for what I'm actually going to use in relation to proceed with the cleaning and being careful, because this is actually quite a lovely supple leather. And as you can see, it's in pretty good condition for the age that it's in. Okay, it's about 13 years old. Okay, so we have our leather cleaner, right? This is safe on all leathers. We can have this in a normal sprayer, or we can actually do the foam spray. I think we're going to launch it with the actual foam spray. I think it's a bit more easier. All right. We've got our agitation brush, which is a boar hair brush. It's really easy to use and it's very safe to use. Okay. Then we got this jitterbug type brush. It's getting quite common now. Very good and easy to use, especially in getting into those edges. So we'll go through that. We also have a beautiful 70-30 microfiber Korean cloth, about 350 GSM. It's actually got the flat fibers there. We'll probably use that for cleaning, and then we'll use this when we do our coating. Again, this one's about probably 400 GSM dual pile. As you can see, differences, one's longer than the other. All right, so let's get stuck into this. So I'm gonna take my leather cleaning spray and we'll just put a little bit up here. That's probably more than enough. We'll do two things. We'll do two things. We're just gonna agitate it with the brush. So guys, we want to cover off all the areas. For you guys out there who are starters or a bit worried about, not getting into the affected areas around the areas which are not going to be affected, around these plastics, the wood grains, you can actually put a cloth there, or if you want, you can put some safe tape, and we'll talk about tapes when we go through the correction side. So I'm just agitating it ever so softly, or I should say I'm putting a bit of effort, but softly with the type of bristles. Okay, and we're going to come through this area as well. All right, so we're going to get all the way around. We can even, if we pull this down, just go around that edge. All right, so we're going to wipe this down, take a look at it, and see how that looks. Okay. Not sure if the camera's picking up. Slight bit of dirt there. As you can see, it's wet as well, but you can see the actual dirt that's come off there. Now, I'm also going to do this side. This time we'll use a different method. We'll use the jitterbug type cleaning brush, and we're going to see the difference. Now, you can actually use both methods at the same time. The brush is also awesome to get into areas which are more flexible, that have rounded edges, like the steering wheel. The flatter areas, obviously, the jitterbug's awesome, but the brush can work for both, but more for the steering wheel. Also guys, just talking about the steering wheel, we'll go on to the steering wheel. I'll show you what I will do. I normally also put a cloth for the cluster so we don't get any spray and flicker of the actual leather cleaner. All right, so I'm gonna add a little bit more of the cleaner here. Don't pile it on guys, we just wanna use a little bit and just enough actually, just to get in there, okay? So, now you might find a little bit of the fibers coming off because this is brand new. We might open that up. Sorry, the camera's not gonna catch that. We'll open that and we'll get all the way up here. Down through here. All right. Camera's probably not going to see that, but what I'm doing is going across all the edges. The edges are probably going to be a bit more cleaner because obviously not as much skin and touching is happening there. So, all right, so that's done. I'm just going to do a wipe. I'm going to actually use the cloth, the other side, which is dry and clean. How much the camera can catch of that. You can actually see again the dirt. This one's picked up a bit more dirt, okay? Again guys, when you're using it, you don't want to push too hard. We don't want to ruin any of the leather fibers. We want to keep it nice and supple. After feeling it, it should feel nice and clean and still has that supple feel to it. So just, again, don't want to sort of push too hard on the brush or the jitterbug. We just want to give enough pressure so that we're cleaning it and not actually damaging it. All right, so we're going to go into two other areas which are a bit more, I guess, technical and probably used more frequently. So in most occasions, guys, you're probably going to find the driver's chair and anything at the front, which is obviously used every time the car is in use, is probably going to have a little bit more dirt than the rest of the car. I myself normally am driving one of our cars probably 70% of the time on my own, and I know for a fact, obviously, the driver's side is going to be a bit more used and a little bit more dirty. All right, so what we're going to do, we'll just put that cloth there. Now, this time, guys, what I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to spray into the actual brush. So it's just a bit in there. And I'm just going to put a little bit on top. Okay, I'm just lightly brushing it. Then I'm going to put that down and actually get the jitterbug. I can hold this dial down. Actually, the camera's capturing that. Okay. It's quite a little sensitive area on this, and it's actually something quite interesting that BMW use. As you can see, the beautiful I guess brushed aluminium, and then it has this nice supple piece of leather on the top. Again, I'll turn the cloth over and we'll do a little area here, just clean it up. When we're cleaning, we want to try and get right around into those edges of the leather. I'm sure the camera's picking up much there. Can't see much in the camera there. You can see a shade of dirt there. And again, the leather has come up nice, very nice. All right, now, we'll move on to the steering wheel, okay? Because I know a lot of people will want to see this. All right, so I'm gonna take another clean cloth here. We're gonna put that over there. All right, so we want to protect the cluster. We don't want any residue flying off over there from the leather cleaning solution. So we want to make sure that, again, we protect all that area and we don't want to stain the cluster, okay? And there's actually another video that we're going to do on how to clean the cluster. What's the best methods? All right, so again, I'm going to spray outside into the actual brush. All right, so you can see there's actually quite a bit of leather cleaning solution in there. All right, and then we're just going to go around the steering wheel. Always go around the back as well, guys, because that can get quite dirty. So I'm probably just going to go about halfway. Okay. Don't worry about the buttons. You can go around those edges. You can go onto the buttons. It's not going to affect the electronics as long as you don't pounce on them too much. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit more leather cleaner. Okay, so we're going to come through here. All right, don't forget to go around the back. Also through the little stitching as well, guys. All right. So you want to be quite diligent with it. I'm going to go through the top. Just a little bit more. All right. Now we should see some dirt on that cloth. Okay, as you can see, the wheel has more than enough leather cleaning solution on it. We'll take the cloth, it's quite clean. I normally like to hold the steering wheel with one hand and go around with the other hand and just ensure that you're getting all of the cleaning solution off. If you find, guys, you get a little bit of leather cleaner inside these areas and you haven't been able to sort of get them out by using the edge of the cloth, you may get a little bit of a either the portable air compressor, or you can get turn down your air compressor and just give it a little bit of a low blowout and keep the cloth behind it. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. And now you can actually see there's quite a lot of dirt that's picked up. All right, guys. So there you have it. That's the leather cleaning part of it. We will now move on to the leather coating and protecting. All right. So I'll be back in a moment. Thank you. Hey guys, welcome back. And today we're going to go into talking about leather care on the coating side of things. You'll notice before, or on the previous videos that you would have seen, we're talking about leather cleaning. So this basically is the next part after the cleaning. So we're going to talk about how to coat and put our coating on, why I choose this coating and why it's a great coating specifically for all leathers. And which areas and how to get to certain areas. So the three areas we're going to do today is the armrest, we'll do the infotainment selector dial on the top here, and the actual steering wheel. For the seats, it's quite simple. I just thought I'd choose these separate areas to just be a little bit different, and sometimes the steering wheel can be a little bit difficult. So we're going to get into that. So this is actually, a lot of people have probably seen different types of coatings. I've tried many different types of coatings. I won't mention brands. Some of those other coatings that come in the more ceramic type liquid 30 to 50 ml bottles, I really didn't find too many that didn't actually work with the leathers that I was working with later on, that actually crack, or they wouldn't last as long as what they said. So I thought we'd go with the safer bet. This one will last from about 8 to 12 months. It is more of a ceramic type of a cream, as you can see. Okay, very simple to apply. So we have the little flip top cap and the little nozzle. Guys, I like to use these applicator pads. Again, these will be available on our store. I have the much larger one here at hand. We will have the different sizes available. So obviously for the armrest won't be an issue. For the smaller parts, we will need these smaller applicator pads. However, I will use this and walk you through it and exactly how to be quite careful about it, and how long we're going to leave this on. Basically, we will do the 3 parts and then we'll see how it's settling, and basically give it around 15-20 minutes to dry, and then we'll just pat dry it off, and you'll actually see it's got a nice, not so much a gloss. That was another reason that I had issues with other brands and products, but it actually will give it a nice sort of a sheen look, not so glossy. All right, so I'm just going to put a little bit here, as you can see. All right, so you can see my applicator pad there, so I'll put that away. Okay, and I'm just pretty much going to go up and around this section. We'll cut over to this side. It's got quite a nice smell to it as well. Okay, I'm sure the camera is catching that shine. All right, just be careful again, guys. If you're beginners and you're a bit fearful from touching the wood, or there might be vinyl in other cases in other cars, just be careful, and you might want to put a cloth over it. This is not really going to stain it. You just want to make sure that you wipe any excess that you may have touched over the side. As you can see here, we've covered the whole area. I'm just going to grab this little dial here and just lightly go over it. Okay, so that's done. It's got a nice gloss finish to it. If you have a look, you can actually start seeing it settling and absorbing into the leather. For those leathers that haven't been cleaned in a while, or the older type leathers, you may want to consider reapplying the coating maybe within an hour's break between the first, after you've let it settle, let it dry off and buffed off, I should say. So now we're going to go onto the steering wheel. Now I'm just going to be a bit cautious of the buttons. We're just going to work our way around. And because I've got quite a thick applicator sponge, I'll be able to get around it. Now, as you can see, as I'm wiping, there's not really any dirt that's still coming off. That means we did quite a great job in cleaning and preparation. Okay, so now remember, guys, this is a vinyl, and the outside of most steering wheels are leather, so we don't want to add any leather coating to the wrong areas. So with these hard to reach areas, we just want to reach in like our fingers, make sure there's the coatings on there, and just get around there. Okay, so we just get around, and we're just, again, in these areas, just want to reach in, get around, and we're just going to dab that and go around the back, of course. Let's not forget that. I might just use a little bit more. You can actually see the armrest is settling down quite nicely. We'll give that a little bit of a wipe off. So we need to use a nice wipe off cloth. That's the dual pile one that I spoke about in the leather cleaning video. Right, this is looking great. Again, don't forget about the back. Get into this area. All right. I might actually give the steering wheel 2 layers as well. So we'll come back to that after the video, and we'll add another coating. Okay. So that's all done. Okay. So that's actually dried quicker than I thought. It's actually got a beautiful feel to it. You can actually see the infotainment dial. That's actually settled down beautifully. What I will do is just, that's now been about 10 minutes since the application, and all I'm going to do is just lightly buff over it. Feels incredible actually. All right, so that's done. So those 2 are set. They're all done. The feeling's unbelievable. Sorry, getting a bit excited over that. But so the steering wheel will probably leave and let that set. It's actually sucked it in. I don't know if the camera should be able to capture it. You can actually see it does need probably another coat or possibly 2. Don't apply it on too thick, but just thick enough that it's giving a quite a gloss finish, and then it sets. And like I said, guys, if it's taking it in and drying quite quickly, then you know that there's the leather was actually quite dry to begin with, and it probably happens over age and use, and you can easily apply another coat or another 3rd coat, and it's not going to do any damage or make it super shiny. All right, guys. So that's pretty much it. Thank you for joining me for the leather coating, leather care side of things. I'll see you guys on the next video.